Hi, and welcome to a How to Use guide on communication boards. My name's Charlotte Body, and I'm one of the speech and language therapists that work within this trust. So we'll jump straight in and have a bit of a chat about what communication boards are. So a communication board is a picture board, which is usually made up of symbols or photos that can be used to support children to communicate. It's a paper-based communication aid that's usually laminated and is readily available within your child's setting, so whether that be at home, at nursery, or at school. Communication board can be linked to a specific activity or event, or it might be individualised, so relate specifically to a child's needs. So, for example, emotions, an I need board, or something's wrong board. The pictures on the board can support a child to communicate for a wide range of communication functions with the aim to expand on their functional communication and give them lots of reasons to be communicating. So why we use communication boards. So children can struggle to know what to say or find the right words or language to use. And they might find talking hard, so they can't get the words out to express themselves, or they might be quite unclear when talking, which can be quite frustrating. They might find that these children might find using a board helps. So, for example, at times where they may find talking harder, so when they're dysregulated, but they still need to tell you something. And the communication boards can help these children as they provide a visual, so a symbol, a photo, or a picture of the words or phrases that can be used within different situations. So we're going to have a look at some examples of different communication boards that we use. So this is an example of a core word board or a core board. So we've got lots of different core words here. So core words are high frequency words, and they tend to make up around 80% of our general kind of day-to-day conversation. So even though we've not got lots and lots of symbols on here, our child will be able to express a wide range of messages, get those needs met, as well as kind of offering comments, clarification, and those kind of requesting words too. So here's an example of a something's wrong board. So we've got lots of little single words here regarding what the child might be feeling, as well as kind of some problem solving words. So they might be able to select one of these words to indicate to an adult why they might be feeling that way, to help problem solve, to bring them down from any dysregulation that they may be feeling. This is more what we call kind of an activity map, but it's more kind of a tailored activity communication board. So this one is an example for bubbles. So as you can see, we've got words around a bubbles activity. So naturally, we'd be modeling quite a lot of this language within playing with bubbles verbally, but we're mapping it onto that visual. So we might be making requests. So modeling, I want bubbles, I want big bubbles, or using those kind of social words like, oops, oh no, and directing someone. So you blow, for example. So how to use communication boards, we need to make sure that they are accessible. So having the boards in locations throughout your home or throughout your setting, because naturally if the communication boards are stuck on the top of a high shelf or in a cupboard, our child is not going to be able to use them. So we want to place them next to play activities or in locations that they will be used. So for example, if you're in a setting, you might want to put a sandpit activity mat or communication board next to the sandpit, or if you've got a food communication board, then you might want to stick that on the fridge or having it accessible in the kitchen. We need to think about the boards that your child will be motivated to use. So linking this to their interests, their favourite activities, or link to things that they may need to communicate to make it important and motivating for them to use. We need to think about the vocabulary that we are wanting them and needing them to say and what they might need to say. So we want to be building in those core words, those high frequency, really functional words. So want, go, like, more, as these are really helpful for expanding their functions of language. So expanding into commenting, directing and requesting or protesting, for example. We need to be engineering opportunities to practice using these boards in lots of situations with lots of people, so that you might be taking this core board everywhere around school with you. So it's being used in lessons, it's being used in PE, it's been used in the playground at lunchtime. So that child is getting used to lots of different contexts that they can use their symbols. We want to model and encourage the use of these boards. So using them within real life situations is how your child is going to pick up this language. So if we're just kind of sat just randomly pointing at the words, it's not going to be meaningful. So we want to be modeling the use while we're playing with bubbles, while we're playing with cars, to encourage them to use it themselves. So we're going to have a watch of this video, which is just more on how to model using the boards with your child.
We're going to have a little chat about how to use activity mats or communication boards and do a little bit of demonstration on how to use these in real time. So first, what we need to think about when we're working with activity mats is that we need to be responding to all of your child's communication, all of their attempts to communicate. So naturally, verbally, if your child comes up and gives you a car, you're going to label car. But with an activity mat, we can map it onto an extra visual. So we can say car and model car and touching that one. So showing and modelling how to do it. Within a play activity, like we've got a car ramp out here, we can be modelling how to use a range of symbols. For example, we might want to touch my turn, go, down the ramp. So showing and modelling, pointing to lots of different symbols within that right context. It's really important to be repeating as well. So for example, this activity is more about cars, so we want them to be modelling yellow car, car down the ramp, car go. So being really repetitive with how we are modelling, because that will help our children to understand those words, map it onto a context, and hopefully use an activity mat or the words verbally themselves. We want to be reinforcing what they are using with their communication board. So for example, if they touch more and they potentially wouldn't say it like that, we can be modelling, oh yes, more car. So we can be expanding on that, reinforcing what they're saying. We can be thinking about our language functions as well. So for example, requesting, we might want to model I want car or I want blue car to make that request. Equally, we can do some commenting as well. So we might just be talking about yellow car and modelling it that way. If your child is starting to use these and starting to link that vocabulary together, you can fix errors. If they, for example, are doing car, I want, we not negatively reinforcing that because they've done a fantastic attempt at communication. We want to recast it, remodel it back to them. So for example, I want car, yes, I want car, and then giving it to them as that reward. As well as this, the most important thing is pausing as well. So when we are modelling, we're not always just kind of pressing the words. We want to be pausing, allowing your child to have a little bit of time to use it themselves. So for example, I want car. So giving them a little pause to give them a chance to have a go if they want to. Or for example, we might want to hold the car at the top, hold it just there and just give them the chance to press the go. If they don't, we can be like, oh, ready, steady, go! Offering that pause hopefully just gives them a little bit of a push to use it themselves.
Just to recap, so other little tips on modelling that I touched upon in the video. So just making sure to respond to all of your child's attempt to communicate. So like I said there, we don't want to be saying, oh no, we're using this now. We want to be kind of recasting it. So we want to be modelling it again, but we'd be nice and positive with whatever they communicate and responding to that. So mapping their communication attempts onto the pictures to make these pictures meaningful. Showing and modelling how to use the communication boards by pointing to the pictures as you play. Repetition, so showing and demonstrating how to touch and using the verbal language lots and lots of different times within a specific situation for an activity mat or across different contexts for the more communication boards. Reinforcing, so if your child points to a picture, you then say the word or phrase. Expanding on their message, so showing them how to link pictures to build their message. So when they press touch one, you model that back and add another symbol as well. Fixing errors, so if they're pointing to pictures but the wrong way around, we can model it back in the correct way. And pausing in an activity, so where you're waiting for the response, that can encourage a child to signal or point to a word or phrase on the board. So there's lots of different resources online. These are just a few examples. There's the ACE Centre, which is kind of a charity offshoot of the NHS. They have lots of different free resources and communication boards that are already made, but ones that can be increased in difficulty. So adding or taking away vocabulary, the symbols can be changed to suit the symbols that your child might be used to from their setting. As well as these, we've got Seaboard and Boardlet, which are two kind of free apps that you can access on computers or on tablets or phones as well. So you can make specific communication boards that are more tailored towards your child. Using these apps, you can print them or just show them on the phone, but you can link back to this training as well, so you can have a little bit of a think about those strategies that we've touched on today. Have a bit of a go and a try and practice, and just make sure to make it nice and fun for your child as well.